internet!
Hello!
We're back.
Hello!
How's it going?
How's it going, everyone? FAQs, yes, I did bust my ass several times. My knees are bruised as hell.
At what cost?
We appreciate the effort. We appreciate the effort.
Truly.
Yeah, it was 17 degrees when I filmed all that, so
Hey, yo.
yeah.
Lordy.
Crazy.
That's
Yeah.
a level of commitment right there.
Hey, commit to it. Anyways, welcome everybody to the Hallowed Expanse. We are so excited to have you guys here today with us for the grand premiere of the Hallowed Expanse. We have some familiar faces on this channel, but also some new faces here with us. And I'm really excited to let them introduce themselves. But first, I'm just going to introduce you to what this is going to be really, really fast. The Hallowed Expanse is going to be a long-term campaign where I am the DM, the sole DM, rather than switching like Reflections of Chaos, and all these wonderful people are my players. It is D&D 5th edition. And as always, we are here playing for charity. Currently, we are raising money for the Trevor Project, ! Charity in chat. We'll tell you a little bit about it and take you to the campaign link. We'll have some more information about that in a moment. Trevor Project is really great. And the stream is always going to be for charity, so just stick around and learn about it. It's really wonderful. Other than that, I'm just going to let everyone start introducing themselves, and we will start with Demo. Demo, introduce yourself and your character name. Your character name.
Sure thing. Hi there, everybody. My name is Demo. My character is named Corvo Ferroswain. I have my own humble little channel over on Twitch as well, where I also support charities. Right now, we're supporting Broken Tail Rescue, which is the amazing organization where we adopted our two wonderful cats, Mochi and Maru. You can see one of them featured just down there, I'm pretty sure. That all being said, feel free to come check us out. We're streaming on Tuesdays and Thursdays, all in the name of charity. All bits and subs go in full towards the donations. So if you want to support the channel, support the charity at the same time. Why don't we pass things off to our good friend X right over here.
Thank you, Demo, very much. Hey, everybody. I'm X, King Clucky. I'll be playing Dusty Champagne. And, just a few things about me. DM for like 11-ish years, and now I get to play in an awesome campaign with some really cool people, so I'm super excited. As already said earlier, we're supporting the Trevor Project, which, if you don't know who they are, the largest suicide prevention and crisis intervention organization for lesbian, gay, bisexual, transgender, queer, and questioning just young people. So, please support us and donate to their cause. And also shout out as well to the artist Graphi, who did all of our character art, which all of it looks amazing, and they're super talented. They have their own Twitch channel at Graphi_OO. I think there was an emote for that. I think !art,
Yep.
if I remember correctly.
Yep.
And, enough about me. I'm going to pass it now over to, how about Saul?
Oh, yeah. All right. Hello, everyone. I'm Saul, or Saul. I'm a streamer from Texas. I am very excited to be playing Rigel Darkstar. I have the pleasure of being the executive producer and a cast member of Turntables RPG, where we are an experimental tabletop RPG stream that streams on Tuesdays. We are on a break right now. We're doing development for our season 3 of Monster of the Week, but if you'd like, please check out our YouTube. You can just search Turntables RPG, and we have several seasons of Monster of the Week and some one-shots and a great sci-fi campaign called Return to OE, which is an Uncharted Worlds game. And yeah, very excited to be back. Very excited to be playing. I'm gonna pass it off to my very good friend Wolf.
Hi everybody, I'm Wolf. I stream. I will be playing today, I guess, for the foreseeable campaign. I'll be playing Rocio Soldador. And super excited to be here. Thank you, Ari, for DMing. I'm just real happy to be back here and playing Dungeons and Dragons with some amazing people. But yes, off to the side, I do also stream, and more recently, I've just been playing Hollow Knight, which is such a fun game. I've been having so much fun with that. So thank you for being here, everybody, and thank you for stopping by. So last but certainly not least, Blanket.
Hello, I'm a blanket burrito, both literally and online. This is Mochi. As Demo mentioned, here on my channel, I'm a blanket burrito. We are primarily streaming MapleStory. I'm going through every class ever, and I don't know how to play most of them, so it's quite an entertaining time as I both struggle and learn. But we are currently hosting a charity on my stream for these guys. We adopted them from a fantastic rescue, Broken Tail Rescue. They are amazing. Their finances are clean. They give everything back to the animals. Everyone is hosted in really loving foster families, and we just want to see more cats reunited with their forever homes. So I will be playing the ornery bard Claire Nefira. I am really interested to see how he meshes with the rest of the party, seeing as he is both suave and a little bit ornery. But we will see how it goes. Stay tuned.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
we
I'm
did
so
it.
excited. We did
We
it. We
did
made
it.
it through our first intro. Our first intro.
Did we sound
Here, here.
professional?
So excited. So excited. And with that, I am going to bump us over to our map slide. Please work. Dab.
Ooh.
All right. It works great. Excellent. Excellent.
Dab.
For
Yay,
some
we did it.
reason, my audio like peaked there.
Sorry,
Sorry.
were we
if
supposed to do a
that
group
was
dab?
loud.
Was that the
I would hope
1,
not.
2, 3
I
group?
like the ability to dab. So hey.
Get your animator on
Thanks,
that,
guys.
Wolf. Dab.
Thanks.
Gotta be on it. Gotta be on it.
Dab.
Gotta
All
be
right.
prepared.
I recommend you guys to all turn down your watch together. I am going to start the music now.
Awesome.
And hopefully not blast Stream's ears.
Make sure that is.
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh.
How's that audio stream? Is it good? Hopefully it's good. Welcome, everybody, to the Hallowed Expanse. We are going to get started in a little town called Almgren. Almgren is a port town that is a bustling city, an epicenter for trade and races galore. You have mystery and adventure and several businesses. The business of interest right now is Mercado Solador, where we see Rocio. Rocio, you are in your familiar business. What are you doing on a typical day-to-day?
Typical day-to-day, Rocio is pretty much surprisingly not involved in the business whatsoever. Her main area of expertise is protecting the shipments from A to B, making sure that things are taken care of from, oh, hells! Thank you!
I was like, I don't want to
Oh.
interrupt. Thank you for the donation!
Thank you,
you!
Hells.
Thank you.
Thank you, Hals.
Thank you very much.
Incredible.
Thank you.
Going to an amazing cause. Yeah, essentially protecting shipments from A to B, making sure that her family's business just goes as smoothly as possible. So from where it's made to out to the ports, and essentially it goes back and forth from that shipment to eventually going back into her offices and organizing whatever else needs to be organized.
Excellent, excellent. Would you like to describe your character's appearance?
Sure thing. Rocio is a pretty tall, 6 foot, I would say 6'5" tall elf. Strong build, definitely has their physique on top of their mind to make sure they are, very action oriented and very action heavy. They currently have plated armor to make sure that they, can adequately protect all their equipment. They have short hair as well as freckles lining everywhere on their face.
my mic was muted for that entire time. TLDR, Rocio is looking in the office space. Yes, I was on mute. I caught that after the fact. Rocio peers
We all
into this
heard it.
office.
Get on it.
Where you see...
It was amazing. It was amazing.
Yeah.
Where you see your sister, Luna. She is heads down, furiously scribbling on paper, pulling piles and books and flipping them open. And as you peer in, she looks up and she says, Ros, ayúdame.
Rocio sort of like looks over, a little bit confused, definitely. They're not very business focused or, I guess, intellectually inclined as their sister. Luna is definitely the smarter of the two, so very confused. She sort of just walks in and goes, how can I help you?
Luna pushes a stack of papers forward and says, I'm at my wit's end here. I have filled out so many contracts and so many papers. I have been on business meetings left and right. I can't take it anymore. I need your help.
With what?
She puts her head down and she starts digging and digging and digging. She finds a single piece of paper and slams it down. You see, like, the text is small. Like, it is, like, a very fine written contract.
Oh, no. Yeah, like...
And at the bottom, you see one line that's signed, the other line unsigned. And she pushes it forward, and she says, we have a potential contract. It is a very, very nice contract. And we really, really, really need this client. You see, we have some shipments to deliver, some high caliber shipments, and she kind of winks at you. And we gotta recruit a fleet to get them there, to the port of Qual. And you would know your clientele in the port of Qual is generally pretty high class. Like, you don't really go to the port of Qual because it's quite a distance unless there's a really good reason for it.
Okay, well, what kind of convincing do you need me to do?
She kind of shakes her head and she says, we're trying to approach the house in Nefira. And new client, incredibly elite ships, perfect crew for getting this stuff to the port, but they don't take on clients very often. They're pretty closed, rumor has it. I just need you to be the liaison for the shipment from start to finish. I mean, if we have multiple faces working this contract, it's not going to look good on us. I need you to take care of this for me because I don't have the time.
I guess, it shouldn't be too complicated, right?
No, and you're not going to be alone. Another reason I kind of want you to go is because you have a really good relationship with Amret. You would know Amret as the leader of the Fair Scales.
Right.
Yes. And he's gonna be there, and I know you guys have a good relationship, and, you know, if that tells you what kind of stuff we're dealing with, that's why I think you would be better suited.
Okay, I feel like this is right up my alley. I can take care of this.
She nods. Oh, thank you. Thank you. You're gonna need to review this contract first before you go and just get yourself prepared, and pushes this fine print contract towards you.
Yeah, Rosia's gonna look at this and definitely, like, there's gonna be a moment of, like, eyes glazing over. Anytime, like, a sentence starts, the eyes just begin to glaze over, and it's like, I mean, my sister gave me this. I'm very confident that my sister knows what she's doing. So, like, in the most passive way possible, Rocio's gonna look this over. And is there any like role associated with like understanding what's going on?
Yes.
Alright.
I think that you could either do like not I almost said an insight, like an investigation since you're looking for something like specific.
All right. Yeah, I'll go with an insight that I have +0 to.
Okay.
7.
Okay, so you're just, eyes just glaze. This is like
First roll,
magnifying
baby.
glass level of print. And you're like, one of these things. And all
Yeah.
you can make out is Fleet, House of Nefira, Metal, Royal.
Cool.
And that's kind of what you gather from your glazing over.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely, I feel like Rocio at that point would be like, yeah, I think the role is very true to Rocio's intention in this. It's very much like, yes, my sister just handed me an official document. I will blindly follow what she says to do. And yeah, I mean, Rocio loves Luna to death, so definitely, yeah, I'll get this done. Hopefully, without any incident, and yeah, we'll take care of this.
Oh, great. Oh, Rose, thank you so much. I forgot to mention one thing. You have a meeting with the House of Nefira rep in like 2 hours.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
You can take care of it, right? You got this.
It's fine. Where is it?
It's at the docks. It's kind of a time-sensitive thing, so you're gonna be leaving tonight if they sign it. But we have to get their signature, Rose. Okay? Right here.
With their signature?
Yes.
Yeah. It sounds about fair. Okay. Yeah, we'll get their signature.
Okay.
We'll go.
Great. Oh, thank you. One more thing. Pack for a week.
One more thing.
Yes, one more thing. Pack for a week. It's gonna be a week trip. But don't worry, I'll hold things down here.
I mean, of course you will. But a week? How come?
Well, I mean, and you kind of think back to like your experience when you were working more directly in the business. You know that the Port of Qual is one of the longer trips that you guys take, and it's about 3 days there, 3 days back on ship.
Right. Okay. Well, I have been meaning to step out for a while, so it is appreciated. Luna.
Yeah?
Take care of yourself, okay?
Yeah, okay. Grabs a cup of something, drinks some, puts it down, and just pulls out another stack of papers and starts furiously scribbling. Thanks again, Rose.
Something.
I know y'all said that Luna was like the smart one, but it definitely gives the vibe that Rocio is the person who shows up on time, and Luna's the person who's like so scatterbrained, they're like 15 minutes late and setting up.
She's book smart with no street smart.
Pretty much.
Different kinds of smarts.
Yeah, I guess the only thing is that as Luna sort of gets back to her work, Rocio just wants to take just like a mental image of her sister and I'm assuming like the chaotic mess of paperwork and chaos that is her space. And just I know that Luna wouldn't be looking up at Rocio, but Rocio would just be looking at her and just taking this all in. And then just as swiftly as she came in, she would turn around and sort of leave.
Damn, didn't expect to feel anything 10 minutes in, but here we go. Okay.
Were you expecting some like traumatizing call to
Woo!
Starting it off quick.
Sounds great. And you know your sister very well. You care about your sister a lot, so you're pretty easily able to like have that mental image. I think that you would note that maybe Luna's a little bit more stressed than normal.
Right.
But it kind of makes sense, Luna doesn't often ask you for anything business related, so
Right.
you know that this is kind of a big deal for her to ask you to do this.
Yeah.
Cool.
So yeah, Rocio would start packing things up and sort of basically heading the way immediately as soon as Luna said so.
Great. Okay. With that, we are going to go ahead and cut to Claren. Claren, you are sitting in the office of the House of Nefira. You do this every day. This is your shtick. You are just sitting there on the grind, and you are kind of flipping through your dossier for the day, and you come across the other half of this contract, and at the top it says Fleet Acquisition Mercado Solador. As you would read and study this, you would see that they are requesting a small trading fleet for a trip to the port of Qual. The contract and the contact establishment would be beneficial for you guys because you know that Mercado Solador is one of the elite trading groups in this area, and it would mean a lot of cash flow for you guys if you were able to make this connection.
Okay.
You do note, however, in the contract that it is missing the contents of what is going to be distributed in the port of Qual. That's not necessarily something that is uncommon to see in contracts, but certainly with the elite status, you're kind of heightened to that lack of information going into it.
Yeah, what could be so expensive that's also so hidden.
Mm-hmm. So that's kind of what you come across. Please describe your character, what they look like, and what they would be doing in this moment.
Alrighty, so to start with his appearance, Claren appears to be about 28 in age. Him being elven means that he's probably much older than that, though. And he's been through the grind many times before. This is not his first run going through the routine of business. For appearance, he's a well-built man. He's about 5'8"ish. He's slim but fit. He does dress expensively but simply. So he has a white dress shirt, tan business suit, light brown shoes. He doesn't dress gaudy, but you can tell by the fabrics that are used and the way his clothes are well pressed that he's affluent, even though he's not royalty by any means. He generally has very small embellishments where he'll wear, just a few small gold rings. You can see that the embellishments on his glasses show that it's made from quality metal, but he carries himself very clean cut and proper. He's got, golden hair with, short bangs and an undercut, and he does carry himself quietly, but with an air of dignity. As far as where he is at the moment, the House of Nefira is known not as the be-all end-all portmasters, but they are an affluent house that has a small fleet under their command that primarily specializes in transport of elven goods, although they do contract out regularly if their services are needed for cargo that is worth going through that effort. So he is very intrigued by this contract, especially seeing as the other party is also of notoriety, but he's a little bit curious as to why something so high profile isn't being very clearly stated.
Excellent. Thank you. And in this moment, your business's secretary comes in and brings in another copy of the contract and says, "Hi, Claren, yes. This is the other copy of the contract, so you can have 2 signed copies, one for the records and one to take with you in case any, discrepancies come up. You know how these things go. You never know if it's going to fall through or not. It's better to have 2," and kind of passes it over to you.
Yeah, so Claren is going to give her a little bit of a dry stare, not entirely appreciating the trepidation, but understanding her point. Granted, thank you. I'll go ahead and put this away in the archives.
You want to get it signed first, and kind of gestures to the signature line at the bottom that's blank. And she then says, "You have a scheduled meeting to depart potentially, or just sign the contract. I don't know. It could be either, but it's in a few hours at the docks. You might want to start there. I, quite frankly, don't even know who you're looking for, who you're meeting, but I do know that there will be multiple people, and if the contract goes through, you will depart somewhat soon. The only thing is, our security detail is out on another fleet right now, and I don't necessarily want to give, the rest of our ships under the guise of good graces when we don't really know them. It might be best if you went with them. I know you're always trying to get out. I don't know," and kind of, reverts back a little bit timidly at this suggestion, being that there's like a subordination, almost a difference in secretary versus, one of the owners.
Right, difference in station.
Mhm.
So he's gonna now look up from the paperwork, with a dry look, but one that can't be read very easily. Understood. I can certainly go to the ports myself. Assuming I may not know who they are, but also assuming they will likely recognize me as the party that they're reaching out to. I'll certainly take a copy of these contracts with me, and I'm versed enough in handling myself that I doubt overly intensive security will be needed. Most likely, I'll need to ask a few questions, but I'm sure we can depart relatively immediately if they're satisfactory.
She nods her head, like very yes, I agree. Yes. Okay, thank you. Great. Can I get you anything? Could I pack your bag or send you with some rations or something?
Make sure the necessary for travels are provided.
Yes.
I assume that you'll know about how long this will take.
Yes, Port of Qual, I believe they said. So maybe a week? 8 days tops? I can do that. I think I have enough around here. Well, I'll get on that right away, and begins to bustle off unless you stop her.
No, that's fine.
Okay, she goes and you kind of hear her grabbing things, cupboards opening and closing, just general preparation, and you are left there at your desk with these contracts.
And Mochi fell asleep.
Would you like to do anything else?
I will probably sit there continuing to scrutinize the contracts, just seeing as reading the fine print is half of my life.
Yes.
And also kind of scanning for any details that may give me a hint as to what it is I'm dealing with.
Sure. You two have a very similar, very fine print contract, so go ahead and roll me either an insight or an investigation.
You're gonna need to help me on that, I'm sorry.
So open your D&D Beyond.
I have it.
Cool. And then click on insight or investigation, whichever you choose. It's going to be in the
middle.
stack. Yep, in the middle in the stack. Mm-hmm. And all you got to do is click it, and it should come right to
Whoa. Wow,
18.
15.
Yeah.
Oh, 18, yeah.
An 18 is pretty great. So you have the eyes of a lawyer.
Especially.
The eyes of a lawyer, the eyes of a finance individual, indeed. So you're able to garner quite a bit of information while you're reading this contract. Some key components that stick out to you is you see that this is a collaboration between Mercado Solador and the leader of the Fair Scales Guild, sorry. The leader is named Amret, but you wouldn't necessarily know that, just for everyone's sake. So you see that it's a collaboration between the Fair Scales Guild and Mercado Solador. You don't necessarily know too much about either, other than they're both typically more elite in the trade. You see that they are specifically requesting a smaller fleet, which to you might mean that they are trying to kind of go under the radar. You also see that the trip is supposed to be about a week. you see that it is a pretty large sum of money in payment that you would be receiving. And you see that they are bringing their own security detail with them.
Duly noted.
Okay. All right. It would be at this time you would see Halisa come back. That's the secretary, with a probably overpacked bag. She's a half-elf older lady, and she's just really struggling to kind of keep upright with this thing, and she slugs it off her shoulder. Doom. Okay, I think you're packed for the week. Yes, I think this should have I even packed you some of your favorite snacks, Claren.
I'm assuming you have someone to transport this. Kind of eyes the package.
Oh my gosh.
Yes, of course, I'll take it for you. No problem. And
They actually have like an 18 in strength.
slugs it back up and just
Giant arms.
ready when you are.
At this point, you can see Claren, who does have a little bit of a mischief side lingering, behind the facade. There's a twinkle of amusement in his eye, but he does his best to keep a straight face.
Excellent. Awesome. So at this point, she says, well, shall we go to the docks?
Let us make off.
Okay, I'll get the door for you.
Bless her soul.
Slams the door
Bless her.
open.
God, I hope she's being paid
I
well.
have a very dedicated secretary, but I'm not a slave driver.
Goes down the stairs, and you guys begin your departure to the docks. At this moment, we are actually going to make a cut to Dusty. Dusty.
Ooh.
We are now changing our scene from Almgren to Helig. Helig is a much smaller town that is along the river of Aliford. Common knowledge would be that Helig is a town that kind of tends to keep to itself. It's one of those towns that is self-sufficient. Unless you go there, there's nothing really notable coming in or out of it. Dusty, we are going to follow you into the Gorge and Forge, your place of work, where you are a blacksmith. And I would like you to kind of describe your character and what you do on the day-to-day.
Well, Dusty is he's a well-dressed fella, a man with a lot of heart that's trustworthy. He has a nice gold tooth. He has a very fine hand-me-down suit with everything he owns is hand-me-down, but it's all given freely. A nice little embroidered, name, a tie, a pocket, just, fancy all around. A little dusty at the tips, but hey, it happens. And, I go inside the Gorge and Forge, my place of work. I'm loved here, based off what I know. And I'm, kind of learning the trade, trying to step up, trying to be a businessman myself and become the blacksmith I know I could always be. I promise that this will be Dusty's Forge one day, or I will leave Helig. We'll name it Dusty Town later.
I trust him already. With my life.
Down. I'm here for
I
it.
also
Oh,
trust
nice
Dusty with
day.
my life.
Oh boy.
Great, fantastic. So as you enter your place of work, you see your boss, Abel Rostam. He is a human in his 50s. Abel, A-B-E-L, Rostam, R-O-S-T-O-M. Human in his 50s, kind of multitasking, tending between the bar, cooking some steak or something, talking to some clients that you kind of see, some common people that come in for weapons repairs and whatnot. And he immediately points at you and says, "Hey, I need to talk to
Hey,
you
boss,
about
man.
something real important as soon as
all
I'm
right,
done here."
How would you like me to help you, boss man? I think Let me handle the customers. I promise this time I will only do your business.
He kind of looks at you and like pushes his glasses down and looks at you just like dead in the eyes. Kind of like creeps up on the bar and he's like, "You see that guy over there?" And you see this gentleman who you've never seen before in the Gorgon Forge. You're not even sure if you've seen him around Helig. Looks very fancy. Kind of in line with you, perhaps? You're not really sure. But Abel, gets real close and brings his tone down and he says, "Top paying client right there. Haven't seen him in years. Got a special request for us.
Okay. All right.
Need you
Okay.
to go stand over there and not talk to him until I am done here."
All right. One second. So you're telling me that you would like me to just stand nearby your top paying client and not talk to him
Precisely, yes.
until you're done?
Yes. 3 minutes tops. I just gotta flip this steak and we'll be good. Why don't you practice making daggers or something? Just don't talk to him.
Right. Don't talk to mention him. Got it.
No, don't talk to him. Say it back. Don't talk to him in any
Talk
way,
to
shape, or
him.
form.
In every way, shape, or form. Got it. Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna finish now. And goes back to flipping a steak and watches as you cross the room.
I'm maintaining eye contact too, just like I'm walking. I'm good. It's fine.
It's not fine.
And I wait for him to
It
turn his back.
proceeded not to be fine.
He turns his back after you're out of sight. After you're on the forge side of the Gorgon Forge, he goes back to finishing up in the tavern side. And you, as you approach this gentleman, you see he is a high elf. It's kind of rare for Helig. Helig isn't necessarily like a single race town, but those types don't necessarily come very often. Super like nines suit. Top hat, very similar to yours, but slightly better. Like slightly higher caliber leather.
Wow.
And he is holding one of those like pimp canes that is just bedazzled. Just sitting there waiting.
What can I guess, would I roll like perception and see what he's doing, like investigation maybe? Because this is
you
real.
can roll an investigation if you are if you're just trying to perceive an area, you can roll perception.
I want to roll insight to see like what's this dude about? Why is he here?
Sure, yeah, go for it. Let's see what you can do.
All right, that is going to be a 14.
Did you roll it on Roll20?
He rolled it on D&D Beyond.
Okay, I'll trust
oh
you
my
then. We'll fix that later. Okay,
yeah.
with a
I'm still
14,
learning.
with a 14, you'll see, he's just kind of standing there. I mean, he is on the forge side of the Gorgon Forge, so you're assuming he's there for a smithy of some kind. As you're looking at his cane, does not look like it needs to be smithed at all. So you're not necessarily sure why. Little sus, but not necessarily out of the ordinary. And as you're kind of looking him up and down, you see that Abel has served the plate and begins to cross over quickly, very quickly.
Okay. Well, excuse me, and how are you doing today? How can I be of service here at the Gorgon Forge? My name's Dustin.
He kind of looks at you and he goes, You a smith?
I am a smith of swords, correct.
Sorry. I'm here to discuss with Abel about particular item I need.
Well, I'm Abel's right-hand man, and I promise you
Oh,
that
yes! Yes, new right-hand man indeed! Isn't that right, my trainee, Dusty?
Of course, boss. Of course.
Yes, you're going to be working with me side by side to learn. through this project, right?
Of course, yes. I'm here to learn, boss.
Yes. Yes. Great. Great. And then Abel turns to this man, and the man immediately kind of perks up, becomes a little bit more friendly. Abel goes right in for the handshake. They shake hands like the dude handshake, like just guys being dudes, really going for it. Great. Great to see you. Great to see you. Yes.
Brother.
Does not offer you a handshake.
All right. Okay. It's fine.
Hold out for one.
You're right.
I, as you saw in my letter, have a very special request for you. I need a broadsword made, but this one needs to be special. And kind of winks at Abel, and Abel winks back, yes, okay. A broadsword, yes, we can do that for you, certainly. What material are we thinking? The dimensions, the length? And the man in his little suit pocket, instead of like one of those fancy napkins, it's a piece of paper, pulls out the piece of paper and slips it to your boss. Your boss opens it.
Can I try to roll perception to see what is on the sheet of paper?
Yes. Yes, you can.
And
Let's get it.
let me.
Everybody's done that once or twice, just the casual, just like
Yikes, dog. Yikes. That was a 6 for the audience.
A 6. 6. So as you're like trying to be all sly about looking at the paper. It's one of those things where you're like leaning a little too far and bump into Abel.
Oh, well, pardon me. I had no idea you were here.
He just looks
You're
at you
the
like,
moth.
really? And kind of does one of these to look at the paper without you seeing it, and folds it back up. Yes.
Minister passing notes.
Yes, we can certainly
teacher.
do that for you. Absolutely no problem. Absolutely no problem. However, the material, I have a lead, but it could take a little bit of time to get it here. What's your time frame? And the mystery man kind of says, sooner the better, but you know I am patient for your fine wares. I'll be in town for 2 weeks. Does that work? And Abel says, yes, we can do that, of course. 2 weeks, no problem. Latter end of the 2 weeks, since I will be training, but 2 weeks, no problem. And then Abel tucks the paper into his pocket and says, can I offer you a drink or something while you're here, my good friend? And the elven man nods and says, okay. Abel grabs him on the back and starts pushing him towards the gorge side of the Gorge and Forge, the tavern.
Expect like a
Damage.
I'm just trying to help.
Oh my goodness, thank you so much for that donation. Bear, $20. We really appreciate
Bear.
you. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bear.
X, I wanted to ask. It's a forge, right? So there's like a tub of water, because you're gonna need that, because you just got.
Yeah, it is not looking. It's not my best deal so far. I've been smoother. This is not one of them.
So what's Dusty doing in this moment? Are you trying to follow? Are you...
Dusty's he's gonna, because I'm gonna ask Abel later when it's a bit, he's less angry at me maybe about what's going on. How can I, help? So I'm gonna do my job. I'm gonna walk around, talk to customers, regulars, get them like refills, things like that. Just try to earn some goodwill back until Abel is looks like he needs me to talk to him.
So you're gonna do
Sure.
your job to get some goodwill back?
I am.
Bingo!
I guess I can do my job a little bit.
Yeah, so
I'm
you're
going
getting
for it.
some weird looks while you're doing this, but you kind of do it. Are you
Never do
pouring
my job.
anyone's drinks?
Yes, I'll. Now, would you like a refill of your drink? You had the water and.
Yes, I had the water.
All right, I can get you a water, 1 pitcher, cold.
Sure, yes, cold water. Roll me a
Cold water.
dexterity check.
Oh no.
Oh boy.
Oh.
I like how you questioned yourself if it should be cold.
Starting so quick.
Tepid
Let me know what you get.
room temperature.
Six.
Jesus Christ.
My dice are not hot.
You spill water all over this patron, and like, yeah, you just fucking
Oh, no.
whip it. Oh my goodness, I meant for it in my cup. Abel, what is this?
It's boss. It's not what it looks like. She actually made me. She moved the cup on purpose and made
Abel?
me spill the pick.
Go over to the forge and wait for me. Now. And he like grabs some towels and goes to clean up the now.
Yes, boss.
And
I stare daggers at this lady, just like that was on purpose. I know it. I've
She's like-
seen you. I'm just gonna walk away. I'm not yet. Hold.
And as the scene kind of wraps up, Abel does approach you a little bit later and says, "Do you want to prove yourself?"
Of course, boss. I want to make up for my errors, my discretions, my failures earlier, and I would love
Yes.
to regain some favor.
Yes. He kind of looks down and shakes his head. Against my better wishes, I need you to make a trip to pick up some product for me. And he takes that note and passes it to you. And as you open it, you read Solidarian Steel.
So, boss man, are you? Is this real?
Yes. The steel is one of the finest families in Almgren. No one knows how they get it. But they get it, and it is the best steel on the market. I've heard that they're going into the port of Qual. They have a very limited quantity, and I need you to get all of it. And he hands you a giant bag of coins.
Oh. So this is like for the steel only, correct? Or
For the steel only, Dusty. This steel is priceless. It is unfathomably expensive. If a single coin is missing from this bag, you will not be able to afford it. And trust me when I say there is going to be steep competition for this steel. I've only seen it come in twice in the past decade.
boss, this sounds I'll be honest, very dangerous.
It's not dangerous. You just have to do business. Aren't you good at business? At least that's what you said on your resume.
Ooh.
You bring up you are right, I am good at business
Expert
actually.
of Microsoft Excel.
Certified Microsoft
You know the
Excel.
little HTML.
Does
my
anyone
goodness.
know how to use Access?
Can make you a great PowerPoint. Best PowerPoint you've ever seen.
Let me go to YouTube Academy real quick.
Anyways,
Gotta get that word art
Dusty,
going.
it's coming into port in probably 3 days' time, so you are going to need to leave now.
All right, can I grab some things from here to kind of, pack up before I leave, get a little bit of supplies for me to
Yes, take whatever you need within reason
Nice.
for a 3-day journey, Dusty.
for day journey.
You can even take one of the horses.
Ooh.
One of the healthy ones too.
Yes. Yes.
Well, I do declare.
You can take Buttercup. But I swear, Dusty,
Oh.
and he just looks at
Buttercup
you
will be-
and does like the dad finger. Do this for me, and I will let you run the forge. But you have to do it perfectly. Now go, get,
You know what? You're right. We'll talk about that later. I'll write a contract.
go on.
Come on, Buttercup. Let's go.
Buttercup's not gonna make it. y'all. Just
I'm just gonna.
Don't you dare harm a hair on a Buttercup's
verified
head, guys.
for
Buttercup.
Not you, I mean like everybody.
Oh,
All right, and as you
We are.
prepare to leave for the port of Qual, the market in the port of Qual, we are going to cut to Corvo. Corvo.
Down.
Could you imagine if you just
Not my daughter.
Alinity the cat. Let's not do that. Don't want to get banned.
No,
okay.
I
All
love my
right,
cats.
moving swiftly on, Twitch. You are currently sitting at your favorite tavern, the Deepwater Inn. This is a tavern that you frequent. It is an inn tavern combo, mostly tavern, part inn. It's one of those ones. A little bit underground. You know this well for a reason. You know the clientele that are there. You're very familiar with this place, and you are drinking there. And I would like you to please describe Corvo and what he's doing and what he looks like.
Absolutely. Corvo has a shock of red hair, cut trim, very short, well kept, and very kempt and maintained. He has a red leather jacket, all the way collared up very, very tightly. There's straps that go across the shoulders that connects to the sleeves, which keep them in place. And both hands have dark leather gloves. Slung across his back is a very long rifle with a very lengthy scope attached to it. And he's sitting holding a cup of water, made to perhaps look like an alcoholic beverage, but he's sitting there, shoulders hunched over the cup as he's slowly eyeing the clientele, just keeping a tab on everybody who walks in and out.
Great. I almost forgot to unmute my mic again. Thank you for describing Corvo. As you are sitting there drinking, you hear two of your regulars kind of there. You hear them kind of whispering in a hushed tone. You would recognize them as dock workers. You don't know them personally, but they're dock workers. They're going to go to the tavern after work.
Recognize
and you
the
hear
uniform.
them whispering, and they are saying, Mercado Solador is coming in. You think it's going to be busy? Yes, definitely busy. Did you hear who they're partnered with for this? What do you think they're bringing? And they're just kind of peeping back and forth, and as you're listening, if you would like to see how much of the conversation you hear, you can go ahead and roll me a... Let's see.
someone
I
clip
don't
it?
know.
It's a good noise. It's a good sound.
Go ahead and roll.
Honestly, right?
Roll me a perception check. General
Perception check.
Great.
7.
So you don't hear much. You hear that like initial part where they're talking a little bit louder, and then when they get to the important details, they hush down. But you still know that they're talking about it. You just can't hear
I
it
might
secretly.
stand up very slowly. Just gonna kind of bring my cup over. I'm just gonna stand over by the table and just put one hand on the table while holding the other cup in my hand. Just like, gentlemen, mind if I join you for a round?
Please. And they both motion you to sit.
Pull the chair out, take a slow seat, gesture to the bartender very quietly, and just kind of hand gesture in the air, just one more round for the table. Just kind of
Yeah.
a gesture like this, because I assume they know me and I assume I know them. So I'm just
Yes,
gonna say one more round for the table.
You see a barmaid immediately drop what she's doing, rustle up 3 ales, and bring them over.
I'm just gonna very slowly lean in, keep my voice quiet, and say, gentlemen, I think I overheard very briefly, and pardon my eavesdropping, but I believe I heard you say something about a shipment coming in.
Yes. Mercado Solador is coming into town. And they're partnered with
gonna-
the Fair Scares Guild. Do you know them?
Hmm.
You would not
think I've heard of
know the Fair Scares Guild.
Oh, okay, interesting. I just be like, can't say I'm familiar, but I imagine that'll be a busy work day for you gentlemen.
Yes. Very busy. And they kind of are sitting there waiting to see how much you know. And you can go ahead and roll me a history check. If maybe
I'll see
you would
what I can
hear
do.
some rumors or...
19! Okay,
Fantastic.
much better.
So in this moment of silence, you can kind of ponder to yourself, and you recognize Mercado Solador as someone that's come in, and there's always been like a bustle about it. You haven't ever personally like shopped with them at the market, but you know that it's a big fucking deal when they come in. You also would remember a rumor about the Fair Skills Guild maybe being weapons. Maybe something of that nature. You just kind of hear it. You don't necessarily know anything about it. It's just something you've heard in passing.
It's gonna kind of lean back, just be like, Fair Scales. Don't hear their name around too often. You getting much work from them lately, or is this kind of a new thing?
They both kind of like gasp back. No, they haven't been here more than a handful of times in 15 years. It's very interesting. You know, I've heard a rumor, and kind of like swirls his cup. The other guy stays silent.
I have a cup too.
I've heard a rumor about what's coming in, and then kind of looks at you.
Tell me what it is, and I'll keep that cup of yours full.
I can keep my own cup full.
Yeah, but you don't have to. Tell me, you staying here tonight?
Roll me a persuasion check.
Persuasion.
Persuasion or intimidation, depending on where you're going.
Well, probably persuasion.
12.
Ooh.
Yeah, 12.
Good smile, good smile, good smile.
You see him kind of... I like your tenacity. I'll throw you a bone. And he says, I hear that they're bringing in some kind of metallurgy.
Metallurgy.
Yes. Raw ore, perhaps?
Interesting.
I don't know. Something to do with metals. And if it's from anywhere near Mercado Solador, gonna be high quality stuff that you could never find here.
It'll be a very busy day for the two of you indeed.
Yes. Yes, and he kind of downs his drink, puts it back on the table, and kind of looks at you.
Slowly stand from the table and say, Gentlemen, I appreciate the conversation. Keep those cups full. I'm gonna one more time with the barmaid real quick.
Yes, yes, yes.
Just gonna, for the used to, and then I'm just gonna kind of slowly step away.
Yes, okay, yes. She kind of, frantic and starts immediately beckoning to your will.
I'll hand a gold over to the barmaid as soon as she comes by. I'm just like, keep him happy.
Thank you, Master Corvo, thank you. And she pockets it immediately. What are you doing now?
I'd probably find one of my contacts who knows more information about the docks. I need to get insight on what it is this hullabaloo is all about. If
Sure.
common dock workers are talking about it, then clearly it's making waves.
Sure, yeah. You would probably find one of your contacts down at the docks, perhaps another tavern. Just depends on where you think you would find him.
I'll head over towards the docks. I'll see if I know someone of higher import there who I have influence with.
Sure. Okay. As you kind of go to the docks, you see that they are setting up for something. Something pretty big. Like, the market is usually large. It's extra. Like, there are booths that you've never seen before. Something is going on. Go ahead and roll me a perception check.
Man, I really wish I put more points into these things. 13! Ugh.
Okay, so you kind of just enter the marketplace and you're kind of scanning around. Nothing particularly catches your eye.
Interesting. I'll see if I can... I would like to find one of the dock managers, if possible.
Sure.
I don't know how easy that would be.
Oh wow.
Uh-oh.
Uh-oh.
Okay. Uh-oh.
You do. You find a dock manager. You're not necessarily on, like, first name basis with him, but you've worked with him, you've seen him around, frequents the taverns you frequent. You would know him as Ron. He's a human.
You slowly walk up and just be like, Ron, my friend, how are you?
Good to see you, too. Haven't seen you in a while.
It's been a bit. I have some business I want to discuss with you, if you could find perhaps somewhere private.
Oh, yes, you can come aboard my ship. and gestures to like a small like houseboat, trade boat hybrid. Come.
Gladly, and I'll follow him onto the boat.
Sure. You guys enter the boat, and he pours you like a glass of liquor, pours himself a glass of liquor, pushes it towards you. Business?
Take a slow seat, slowly pick up the cup, and I'm not gonna take a sip, but I will slowly kind of swirl, maybe give it a sniff or two, and just like, fine choice.
Fine shit, yes, fine shit. I have no idea
Commend you
where
for
my
your
importer
taste.
got it from, but fantastic.
Can't say I recognize it either, but we do have business, and I'm gonna set it down very deliberately without taking a sip. It's come to my attention that there is a shipment due to be made sometime fairly soon. I imagine you've heard of this.
I'm a dockmaster, of course I've heard of this.
Something to do with the soldadors and the fair scales, insofar as I understand.
You have always had the best ears, Corvo.
It's my business to stay informed. Now, pray tell. Consider it perhaps a favor, consider it perhaps a minor request, if you will. You wouldn't happen to know what sort of items are being shipped.
Ha! Of course I do. And he pulls out a ledger. It's kind of similar to a contract of just expected imports and exports. And he slides one, it's a future, for 3 days' time. He just slides it over to
Spin
you.
it around slightly. Take a read through. Can I see? Yeah, I'm looking specifically for what type of item is being shipped.
Sure. You are like thoroughly reading it? You are declaring that you're thoroughly reading it?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. So you see that there is a pretty large variety of weaponry. You see that there is a lot of like blacksmithing equipment. One thing does catch your eye though, and it is Soladorian steel. You wouldn't necessarily know what this is, but the fact that you wouldn't know what this is means that it's something.
Now, I'm gonna slowly slide the ledger back over and just say, interesting. You wouldn't perhaps have any insight on where these materials are then being shipped to, or is this their final destination?
They're coming to market here. First
Market
time in
here?
5 years. Mercado Solador has
Interesting.
been here.
And, now this perhaps is a venture more into the unknown, but you wouldn't have insight on why this sudden choice of venture has come to rise, would you?
He kind of looks at you and he says, business is business, Corvo. Can't give out all my information. And kind of...
Question for the DM. Does this person know my affiliations?
They would not specifically know your affiliations, but they would know what you're not affiliated with. So this person would have assumptions of you. Ron would assume things, but couldn't confirm.
Okay. Interesting.
I am screaming. Breaks character. Just let my Amazon package arrive on time.
Other note to the DM, I don't actually know how much money I have on me at the moment, but we can discuss that later.
Bribe with your gut, and we'll figure that out later.
What great advice. Genuinely fantastic advice.
I'm going to, you know what? I'm going to sit back slightly. I'm going to take the glove off of my right hand.
Oh.
I'm going to reveal the metallic hand underneath. You can see, instead of what you would assume to be flesh and bone, you see metallic workings made of a very, very high caliber form of metal. My index finger of which has a small hole right at the very index finger. The other 4 digits are all mechanically shaped to be like regular fingers. Unlike a regular hand, however, there are a series of very intricate mechanical working parts embedded within the palm. The wrist itself has several different mechanically shifting parts, which we'll talk about later, don't you worry. It's going to take the glove off and just be like, right hand, just be like, now, my friend, consider it a favor. You wouldn't happen to know the name Spitfire by chance?
Name rings a bell.
Let it be said the Spitfire would owe you a small favor, perhaps.
I think that's a good exchange for information. So long as
Just
the sailor is in
information.
good faith.
Your favor will be duly noted amongst not only myself, but those who I may work with.
Okay. You want to know about this? And gestures to the steel.
In specific.
You're gonna want that. I've only seen it come to market once. It is the finest, highest quality steel I have ever seen before, and my, is it coveted and in limited supply. Not even I know how much is coming in, but it goes quick. Get here first. They arrive in 3 days.
We'll be ready in 2.
Yes.
I'm going to...
Takes a shot.
With that, I'll raise my glass. See you in a couple of days, Portmaster.
See you, Corvo. You're poisoned! No, I'm just kidding.
Slowly.
No, I'm just kidding. And with that, we are going to go ahead and cut to Hellrath, a town very different than what we've seen before. A town that not many go to unless you have to. A town that is mysterious. A town that some may fear. And in this town lives an individual by the name of Rigel Darkstar. Rigel, you find yourself on a dock with your menagerie of misfits. You guys are preparing to disembark on a tour. You are traveling. All your normal people are there. Everyone that you would know in the troupe is packing up, getting ready, and loading onto this brightly colored, fun ship. Please describe yourself and what you might be doing in this instance.
Yeah, totally. So Rigel is a very lanky, skinny tiefling. They have kind of like a terracotta pink kind of skin color. They've got long black hair. They have tied into a high ponytail with a shock of white at the roots that kind of like stretches back. He's pretty young. He's like maybe in his mid-20s, so it's strange for there to be already some gray in his hair. He also has 2 horns that protrude from the side of his head, and they kind of stick out and they roll forward, essentially. They're pretty lightweight, so it's not like he has like a huge bulky neck or anything like that. It's like we're talking fantasy here, so there's no adjustment for that. But they're super lanky. They have very simple clothing. They've got a blue gi with white trim on it. And they the normal kind of like monk attire. They would have the cloth at the bottom that's tied with the leather tongue, but the first they just lost it, so they just have a leather tongue on their leg, because that's the chaotic energy that we're bringing into this right now. One of their notable features is that they have very strange eyes. They have black sclera, and then instead of having a normal pupil, it is just a reflective circle. It's like looking into a mirror. And it matches the object that he is currently constantly playing with, that he is attached to the hip to, and that is his orb, which If anyone from the early 2000s
Is that a
remembers
fushigi?
It's
ball,
a
yes, correct.
fushigi!
Let's go!
Wow.
He is currently he probably had a task that was assigned to him from the circus master, but he just for context, he has a 7 in intelligence, which I am going to be interpreting as a very, very bad attention deficit disorder. So he has now kind of moved away from the bulk of the circus, like lifting the boxes and all that kind of stuff, and has maybe was just kind of playing with the orb as he's wont to do, as he's just kind of like looking at seagulls and kind of like watching people pass by. I think I'll leave it to the DM on whether or not he's kind of like he's amassed a small crowd of people just by absentmindedly doing these things. I bought this 3 months ago specifically for this character. I have not practiced with it since. I will not be doing this on camera because this thing's heavy and it will smash my computer and my keyboard to bits if I drop it. So if you see me just doing this and I promise I will practice, and we'll see if by the end of this campaign I'm actually a fushigi master. So
Hell yes. Yeah, so we'll
We have
approach,
faith
he's
in
like, fushigi ball. Yes. Approved. Stamp, stamp, stamp,
Monk.
stamp, stamp.
a fushigi ball monk.
I was like, absolutely,
Expectations
we're
are
rolling
mounting.
with this. All right. So, Rigel, as you're kind of absent-mindedly playing, looking at seagulls, doing things, obviously you've left your one task that Master Faraday had given you. You feel a familiar hand on your shoulder, and it would be the hand of Master Faraday. And he says, "Son, I told you, you have to pack this box. Come, please, come." And kind of stumbles you to the box that you were packing.
As Rigel kind of like moves to the box, he's going to roll the ball against physics and gravity whatsoever up his arm and kind of like bop the shoulder until it lands on his horns, and then he's just going to kind of like shift his head a little bit so that the orb kind of like jumps from horn to horn, down and around, all just like kind of like moving in constant movement up there. And he's just gonna look at Master Faraday and say, Rigel doesn't want to do this, Master.
I know. But you must, please, just this one thing. Everyone else you see is doing this.
Right, but Rigel's doing this, and he kind of like kicks the orb up and then kind of like does a sick like little flip with it in his hands and stuff like that. And it's like one of those things where it's like his movements are fluid. They're somewhat like in traditional like kata form, but like there's kind of like this weird erraticness to them, to where it's like he probably learned what is like the proper forms, but then just kind of did his own thing. Like when you're in a martial arts class and maybe you're like 7 or 8 years old, and there's that one kid who's kind of like just like doing their own thing, and like sometimes they'll like they'll stand at attention and do all that kind of stuff. Rigel's that kid. So
Love it. Master Faraday just kind of shakes his head and takes a big long swig from his water skin, puts it back, and Yes, child. You have to save it. These skills, great. They look so good. I am so proud of you. But you have to save them until we get to the place we're going. Don't you remember? We have a big performance coming up.
Rigel remembers Master saying practice makes perfect.
Yes, I did.
Rigel remembers. Does Master remember that Rigel remembers? That Master remembers that Rigel remembers.
Yes, thank you. Thank you for your reminder. Yes, you are so right. How about you practice on the boat? And you kind of look over and you see that pretty much everything except like your 2 boxes that you were left with is packed on the boat. Everyone's kind of standing there very patiently. Like this is your family. Like this is your friends, essentially. They know how Rigel is, and they're just like, come on.
Not gonna lie, Rigel was hoping somebody would have taken Rigel's boxes.
Rigel, you are going to take this box, and I will take this box, and we are going on the boat. Do you remember why?
No.
Okay, yes. I told you this morning, but it's okay.
But for Rigel's sake and the audience's sake, why don't you tell?
Breaking third already. Fourth wall. Oh my god.
Oh boy.
Master Faraday kind of crouches down to get at your level, whether it's a lot or whether it's not much. You be the judge of that, but kind of like very like paternally looks at you and says, "We have a very big performance coming up. We're traveling all the way to the port of Qual. Have you ever been there?"
Rigel kind of like thinks for a moment and just kind of shrugs. I think they just kind of shrugs and he says, "Right, mate, I have a problem with Rigel has a problem with his attention. Rigel's not a child." And he's gonna, and I guess he'll take one of the boxes.
Yes, see? Now we're getting somewhere, Rigel, and picks up the other box, a little bit vindicated. Walks onto the boat, and sets the box down. Steps on top of this box and kind of addresses the mystical, magical menagerie of misfits. And you obviously would know that as your circus troupe that you are around all the time. For the audience, this is Rigel's job, profession, family, whatever you want to call it. They are a traveling circus act. And says, "Yes, okay, everyone. Very, very important day coming up. We are traveling all the way to the port of Qual, remember?" And kind of clears his throat, picks up his water skin.
While he is like standing on top of something and like gesticulating and yelling at everyone, Rigel's definitely just like contact juggling like all around him, just like in a circle. Like, and whatever he's like, if he's standing on top of a box, he's like just walking around doing that.
Amazing. He's like trying to keep eyes on you as he's drinking from this water skin. Ah, yes, okay. Big day, Port of Qual. The market there. We have arranged a performance, but this isn't any performance. We have to put on our top show. There are going to be lots of high rollers, and kind of like in a very like mysterious like circus master way does money, 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 money. And you see everyone, yes, high rollers, money. Yes, high rollers. We are going to have to put on our best performance yet. Understand, everyone?
Rigel tosses up the orb.
Watching
and,
Rigel.
And does kind of like this like wild like roll with his horns as it like spins.
This energy, this is what we need. Learn from Rigel, please, everyone. And everyone kind of is looking at you like, yeah, yes.
Rigel, immediately upon hearing his name, Rigel's gonna pop up and say, "Did somebody ask for Rigel?" Did someone
yes,
say
only
Rigel's
me.
name?
Continue practicing. You're doing a great job.
Right. And goes back to contact juggling.
Amazing.
I'm just gonna call it Fushigi. He goes back to Fushigi.
Fushigi.
I will also take fondling the orb. That is also acceptable as well.
I love it. Master Faraday then kind of begins to go into details about you guys are going to be set up like right in the city center, essentially. He says, city center, big ring, lots of high rollers. We need to be on our best behavior. We are going to get lots of money. It's going to be great. Wonderful time. So everyone
Rigel,
practice.
I have a question.
Yes, Rigel.
Where are we going again?
We are going to the port of Qual.
And what are we doing there?
We are doing an act.
What?
Just as we've done many times.
And does everybody know?
I think so. Everyone, do we know? And everyone, yes, we know, yes.
Right. Good stuff.
Yes, thank you for checking. Good on you. Keep practicing. It's going to be 3 days. Rough seas. I'm sorry, I can't help the weather. 3 days on the boat. Port of Qual, circus performance. Lots of money. Gonna be great, people. We ready? Yes, okay, good. And begins to like kind of stumble and get out, dig down from the boxes, and then go and sit somewhere and wait for the like ship crew to kind of do their thing. And then just kind of sits down and begins drinking from his water skin.
I don't. Were you planning on cutting the scene anytime soon?
You do whatever you think Rigel would do.
I
in
was
this
only going to
instance.
say, if you're going to cut the scene, I would love for Rigel to turn to one of the circus members and be like, "Why are we on the ship again?"
He got it there, yes.
Yeah.
Great. Yeah, so why are you on the ship? The ship is embarking. So you are
Right.
gonna find out. And as you embark, Master Faraday kind of gathers everyone around and begins to tell stories of his experience at the Port of Qual. And everyone is very, like, interested in this. And we are now going to cut back to Rocio and Claren, who have at this point not met necessarily, but you are both arriving at the docks at the same time.
I need to figure out how
sorry.
to keep a straight face after that.
Yeah, pretty much. I was like, oh,
Why are we on
I
the
have
ship
to like.
again?
I had no idea how I was gonna. I'm glad it
I
worked out.
love it.
No,
I
so
love
that
it.
was
That's right.
perfect. Never changed.
That was amazing. Yeah, that was amazing. Yeah, so Rocio, I think immediate like objective is to like secure perimeter. So she's sort of like looking around, making sure that there's no like, you know, anything that could encumber this like operation essentially.
Okay, great, yeah. Make a perception check.
Awesome. All right. Yeah, Rocio's all about that right now.
Okay, yeah.
All right, you said perception, right?
Yep, perception. Sorry, I
Okay.
was reading chat.
No worries.
The Wii music is
Oh
Rigel's
boy.
inner
Oh
monologue.
boy.
All right, so there's a lot going on,
Yeah.
and you're still trying to maybe like process the contract, process what you're looking for, just process everything, and you're not necessarily seeing much right now. You
Cool.
know you're in the right spot because you see members of the Fair Scales Guild waiting for you.
Perfect.
Claren, what are you doing as you arrive on the dock?
So I have a couple attendants with me as I'm walking up. One of which being my severely overweight secretary.
Oh, good, we're there. Yes. Oh, Claren, I do need to get back to the office. So, I'm just gonna leave this with you. I'm so sorry. And immediately, skirt before you can even say anything, and bolts the other direction, leaving your bag.
For the briefest moments, you can see him look down and partially blank stare at, like, oh no, how is this going to move later on? But I quickly divert my attention and move on.
Great. Are you looking for anything in particular, or are you just moving around the dock?
I'm well familiar with the docks, since I do have a fleet that comes in and out. So I walk with the air of being familiar with the scenery. But I'm also giving it kind of a sweeping glance. Since I'm unaware of the cargo that I'm transporting, I'm trying to see if there's any signs in the dock of perhaps material I'm not aware of is coming in or out.
Yeah, sure. Go ahead and make me a perception check. And hopefully it's better than a 9.
See, you say that, and now I'm concerned. Let's see, perception, here it is. Oh,
Much
hello.
better than a 9, yeah. So you're
Nice.
super confident going into this, obviously. I mean, you've done this a million times, right? And as you are kind of like looking around, you see a very lost individual in full plate, and then you do see members of a guild, you would assume, standing next to your fleet. So you would assume that these are the people that you're going to meet. But everything is already crated up in boxes. There's nothing like out for you to look at.
Interesting. Sorry, Mochi was trying to get down. He just like kicked me in the knee. Ow. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So,
yeah, go ahead.
Rocio would. I don't think Rocio would know who they're looking for exactly. Yeah,
You
so
failed on
definitely.
the contract.
Yeah. So pretty much Rocio's just like looking around for like the person that they need to connect with, and they're just like looking around like, okay, so I know I'm in the right area, and then that's pretty much it.
Yeah, pretty much. And Claren, you would see that this person is pretty obviously like,
Yeah,
man.
noticing that he's looking for something without seeming to know what he's looking for, and then also just him being one of, few that I don't recognize per se, because I'm probably used to the regular ship hands. I'm going to clearly approach him, but wait for him to speak first.
Yeah, Rocio, she's gonna. Yeah, as soon as you begin to approach her with any air of like authority or like knowledge going into this, Rocio's definitely gonna like go into attention and go. Oh, hi. Are you the one I'm supposed to meet with to sign these contracts?
I am here on contractual business, but may I ask who it is you're looking for?
Well, I'm here to contract ships to sail for the Soldador, for Mercado Soldador.
There are a few here who could transport such goods, so I assume that you're here to meet myself.
Yes. She sort of like rustles with paperwork and sort of pulls up the contract. You may have been in contact with my sister Luna. She's the one who drafted up all these accords, and essentially I'm just here as a intermediary to resolve this. So, if we could just sign this, I guess we'll be on our way.
So on the back end, Claren carries the air of the strict businessman because that's sort of the role that he has to fill. At the same time, though, in the back of his mind, he is a little bit of a troll. So the open-ended questions are definitely meant to be a little bit bullying, but in good humor. So he's having fun, seeing a little bit of fluster, but at the same time, it piques his interest because he's wondering, for something so high profile, to what end are they sending someone seemingly unprepared? So he's gonna give a dry stare with a little bit of light in his eyes. What can you tell me about your needs for this voyage?
From the looks of it, quite simple. Just A to B transportation, taking what we need from this port to the next. Simple job.
For such a simple ask, it is a relatively high pay grade that I must
Well,
assume has some meaning.
I'm assuming it's just to take care of the items better, no? To make sure everything gets as smoothly as possible. Quite frankly, we truly just need to get this moving. So, yeah.
You seem uncertain and in a hurry. Have you yourself not been informed of the job?
Well, this is like, I guess through that like laugh, she definitely like takes on like more of like a power pose, and puts her hands off to the side, and yeah, just like off and like brings up her chest, puffs up her chest, and was like, well, not really, honestly. It's mostly my family's business, so I'm just here to make sure nothing goes wrong.
Claren is starting to get the understanding that this person is hesitant to speak, but also that there's little information to be found. So
for sure, head empty.
with a little bit of a dry smile and sort of a intent to consider observing along the way. Very well. Provide the papers and we can be on our way.
Fantastic. She sort of takes out the paperwork and she goes, my sister said to sign right here, and she just points at the blank space.
So he crafts a beautifully and presumably practiced signature, and then gives an expectant look.
Okay, well, I guess that's it, right?
Yes, so you being a more like lawyery person, you note that Rocio's contract is already signed with the signature of Luna. Your contract is not signed.
May I ask about my copy?
There's another copy for this?
Presumably there is a contract for your keeping, and one for mine. Unless you think I'm going into a one-sided deal.
Oh, Lucia's gonna go into her own memory and go like,
Begins.
loading.
Hold
Please
music.
wait. Like hold music.
In this moment,
Oh, it's important to us.
Obviously, yeah, obviously Rocio hasn't dealt with like a lot of the contract and a lot of the business. Yeah, in previous, would she have handled like these like contract signatures and stuff like that?
No, but you would kind of remember that Luna said, make sure they sign it. So that, as you're really critically thinking about it, smoke coming out of your ears, you're like, oh, if I have to sign it, or if they have to sign mine, I have to sign theirs.
I have to sign that. All right,
Yeah.
fair enough. Okay. Yeah, Rocio at that point goes like, points connected, let's go. Rocio goes, yeah, sure, let's make sure all this gets smoothed over as soon as possible.
Claire, you would have your copy of the contract.
Mm-hmm. So seemingly satisfied by the agreement on both sides, you can see that, you know, I very neatly fold up the contract and put it away into, assumingly, one of my many suitcases.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
There you go.
Well, looks like everything's going perfectly. Well, this was not as complicated as Luna made it seem.
Seemingly,
Great doing
there would
business
be,
with you.
There would be no need for... What's the word I'm looking for? There would be no need for conflict, seeing as we have a mutual interest.
Fantastic.
And at this point, you see, like, you would notice that Amret is, like, kind of peering in the background. As soon as pen hits the paper, everyone's like, go, 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 and they're, like, shoveling all the boxes, like, fireman style, onto the boat. Everyone's loading up, people are prepping sails, getting ready, the captain is at the helm of this thing, and it's, like, literally, from paper to pen, in like 10 minutes, the ship is loaded up and everyone is ready to go, leaving only you two on the dock.
Yeah, it's at the moment that all the boxes start moving that Rocio would keep her hand on her sword and just like make sure that all the shipments are getting placed properly into the boat, that nothing's getting like left out, and yeah, everything's sort of moving accordingly.
Roll me a
Can I ask
perception
you-
check. Also, yes, you can ask a question.
Can I ask a question while he rolls a perception check? So because everyone was waiting on that second signature to like get everything started, are you saying that everyone at this dock except for Rocio knew
what's
that
up.
the
Oh my
contract
gosh.
needed to be signed? And they were all waiting for the signature to get started.
Yeah, and with a 7 perception,
I'm like,
no thoughts head empty. You are
Oh,
just
crud.
cloud 9. I signed a contract. Sick!
Yes.
Look at me go!
Nice.
meanwhile, I'm specifically keeping the signed copy by him, wondering in the back of my head what level of authority he has as a par at Luna's.
Okay, so you guys are the only two on the dock. At this point, Amret kind of are we ready to depart? Or
Yes. If everything is placed in shipment, let's go.
Yeah, Amret kind of like gestures to the empty dock. Like you guys have a very close relationship, so he's like, "Yes."
Yeah,
Rocio.
let's go.
Okay.
I sort of nod knowingly, kind of waiting for him to lead the way. Or her, rather, sorry.
No worries.
Good catch.
Yeah, I immediately like hop on the boat.
Great.
Yep,
And Claire,
I follow
you
shortly after.
Okay, great. So you guys sign the contract, pen to paper, great, on the boat, and you depart for the port of Qual, where we are going to do a little bit of a time jump. I know that we are running low on time, so we're just gonna boom. And we are going to transfer to the port of Qual. Music time! Do, 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 do. Okay. The port of Qual is a bustling trade town. Like, this is the epicenter of the Hallowed Expanse. There is everything that everyone could ever want. This market is huge, right? And as the boat with Rocio and Claire kind of hits the dock, it is like busy. This market, you guys have like never seen anything like it before. You're familiar with markets in Elmgren, but this is like, whoa, steroids. And as soon as you guys hit the dock, Amret and the rest of the Fair Skills Guild kind of post up on guard. They are like starting to kind of prepare shipments, and they are not unpacking anything yet, but they are just kind of getting everything from the lower levels of the ship up to the higher levels of the ship. And that is where we are going to temporarily leave you. At the same time, Rigel, your colorful circus ship pulls up to the dock. You're in the smaller section, like for the smaller boats instead of the big trading ships. And you also hit the dock, and you see Master Faraday's eyes like, money, let's go! Like, he's so excited, like seeing this big market, and he steps up on like the side of the ship. He goes, that right there, that spot, which is like the spot in the center of the market, we will perform there. That is our spot to perform and make bank. Are you ready? Takes a huge swig from his water skin.
I think Rigel's immediately like, because he's drawn to whatever's moving really. I think he immediately notices the crowds of people, and he just kind of begins playing with the orb even more intensely. Like, he doesn't talk as much. He's not really like listening to anybody. He's just kind of like playing with the orb and like following it as it like moves across his body. But he's just kind of like, he's now more withdrawn than before and a little bit more distracted probably.
Definitely. Are you going to disembark with your fellow act, or are you gonna stay on the boat?
I think, what's the most chaotic thing I could do in this moment? Cool. I think
Let's go. That's what we like.
I think what Rigel would do is like, he's so ingrained in like what he's doing that he's pacing around the ship. He's getting in people's way. I think the sailors are like getting the gangplank ready, and as they're laying it down, he just like starts walking on the gangplank as they're like picking it up to move it over, and he's just like, he's like very dexterous, like just moving on the gangplank, doing the thing, and he'll probably like kind of hop off of the gangplank at the end of it and land on the dock before the ship has even like docked onto and like all that kind of stuff. Very cartoony.
Amazing. Master Faraday's right. Oh god, this child. Kind of like at his wit's end. Everyone else is very patiently waiting for the gangplank to like be firm and settled, and Rigel's already on the dock just doing their thing.
I love that this entire like mystical menagerie circus is like kind of like gentle parenting in the sense that they're very patient with Rigel.
That's why I asked. I was like, what's the vibe you're going for? Can I just like fill this in? Great. Okay. Now you guys are kind of getting ready. You're pulling all your tents and your tarps and your boxes and barrels and hoops and your menagerie of things, and you guys are going to start headed towards that centralized area of the market. we are going to now cut to Dusty. Dusty, you are riding in through the like main thoroughfare of the Port of Qual, between Helig and Port of Qual. You kind of hit the main thoroughfare and you see this market. It's like massive. Like this is like the land of business, baby.
So many easy pickings, easy marks all around. Oh man, I'm about to leave here rich.
Remember your mission, as Abel's voice in your head.
I need it.
The Buttercup gives you a questionable look.
Buttercup is judging the fuck out of you.
Well, the horse knows better than you do.
No, you're right, Buttercup. Let's do the mission first, and then we can work with these lovely citizens in lighting their load of money. You're right.
Like expectantly, like what's in it for me, bitch?
The back of their head.
All right, fine, Buttercup. You get 5%, and then we'll go from there.
Bribe him with the good grain.
Kind of like does a little stop in agreement.
All right.
What are you gonna do with Buttercup while you are walking around this market?
I'm going to roll perception to see if I can find like it's not my horse yet. A decent looking stable.
Decent looking stable.
It's a stable.
Okay, a stable. Go for it. Perception.
Yeah.
Yeah, you see a bar with like one of those like horse hooks.
All right, Buttercup. You know what they say. Don't drink too much. I'm just gonna leave here for a little bit. I will be right back. I promise. As I, just hook Buttercup up to the.
Buttercup's gone.
We lost Buttercup too soon.
It's already told you. They're out.
Buttercup 2023 to 2023.
Session 1 to session 1.
Or whatever they were.
Okay. Yeah, so you just like straight up leave Buttercup tied up to one of like the horse rails at a fucking tavern, and you enter.
I'll just throw the reins on there and like Buttercup got it.
Buttercup's got it. You enter the market area, and you see like some tents being set up and everything. You see kind of crates being ferried all over this place. With a 7 of a general perception check, you don't really necessarily know where to go, but you know to follow the crowd, because the crowd is where the big stuff is at. And you definitely see a crowd gathering at this very large, like, market stall. It's currently being set up. Like, it's not even fully set up yet. It's not set to go, and people are there. Like, they are there, they are ready.
I mean, I'm gonna go on up, and I want to see what exactly has all their attention. What is so enrapturing to this crowd that, I can get a little bit closer and see if they're too enraptured.
Sure, yeah. As you're looking around, you see like a lot of pretty heavily armed individuals like shuttling these boxes. At the tail end, you see what looks to be a very proper businessman and a pretty heavily armored individual. You might assume maybe like a guard type of deal for this person. And as you kind of look up, you see Mercado Solador printed on a very nice like wooden sign. Like this isn't the average wood, this is like a craftsman level sign. And people start peeling back these boxes, and you see like shiny things like daggers, swords, maces. Like you just see stuff getting laid out on the table, and everyone is like they're talking about this. And then you see one box open up, and it is the most pristine steel ingot you have ever seen in your life. And with that, we are going to cut to Corvo. Corvo, you specifically said that you were going to be prepared early, so you are already in this crowd of people. You are watching these things get unpacked, and your eye hits that ingot immediately. and someone stands up on like a little table stool. Rocio, you would know this as Amrit, and Amrit says, "The bidding starts. First come, first serve, as always." And everyone begins to rush forward. Corvo and Dusty, are you guys also rushing forward?
I'm maintaining my cool with it, you know, kind of just see like where's everybody going. Have I counted the money that Abel gave me?
A lot, like an unfathomable amount of money.
Unfathomable.
Ooh.
Abel's scary.
Abel's scary.
I'm gonna wait to let the number kind of rise higher and higher, see if people start dropping off before I.
People are just gonna start. They're starting to grab ingots. Like they are. Like they're going. Corvo, what are you doing?
Oh, they're just grabbing.
Yeah,
ingots
everyone
off
is
the
like
pallet?
rushing forward to start grabbing these ingots and throwing money and stuff.
I'm going to. Interesting. I'm going to follow the rushing crowd forward. And as I do so, I'm going to very, very quietly, like, amidst the crowd, slowly take off the glove from my right hand again. And as everyone's crowding in, getting all super close to all the steel and such, and everybody's trying to grab at it, I'm going to very, very quietly, well, maybe not so quietly, fire the mechanism that is in my right hands to cause a disturbance, and hopefully set the crowd into a panic. I'm going to shoot it into the ground, so that I don't hit anybody. However, there is going to be the sound of a gunshot that goes off.
So are you firing
sort of
a
blast
blank or are you firing a projectile?
Actually, well, hang on.
I need to
Let me
know
see.
because there will be blowback from this.
So DM.
Yeah, there's
Actually,
like no initiative right now. You guys are congruent.
Whenever this action happens, or during this time, can I would like to try and roll probably investigation or insight. Just see if I can see some of the older, sicklier, weaker looking people that are grabbing the ingots.
Yeah.
To
Yeah, you dirty
mark them.
motherfucker. You skank. Of course you can.
At the end of the day, Dusty's got to be Dusty.
God damn.
I guess I'll do insight.
It's okay, y'all. He's gonna seduce them. That's what it's gonna boil.
Yeah, that's the notion.
That's the notion.
Wow.
So with a 10, like, damn, dude, everyone's fair game.
All right,
If they ill, they can't be choosy.
I'm gonna pull out my dagger and casually walk on in.
Oh my god.
Y'all are,
Take somebody down.
y'all, this is a peaceful
Wow.
market. Okay, so we're gonna
Not
say
for long,
that, did you decide if you're firing a projectile or a blank?
I don't know that I would actually have blanks, so I am
Okay.
firing a
Oh, boy.
projectile directly into the floor.
Yeah, so
Oh,
roll the
shit.
damage
You want
dice for one single projectile.
Let me see. That would be.
Oh boy.
this one.
Oh boy.
What is gonna happen?
One
Just
of
the
these
damage
old,
die?
Yep,
sickly
just the
individuals
damage
that
die.
get this again.
15. Wow, did I roll max damage?
Wow.
Oh, I'm so excited to
Okay,
get this
not max
thing. I've
damage, not
waited
max
75
damage. However,
years.
So as you fire this
I'm gonna make
thing,
fine utensils.
into the floor, into the floor,
Into the floor.
floor.
like this is like a point blank distance. Like you're not very far from the ground. Like this projectile hits and it's like, boom, like a big crater, and like dust like kicks up and there's a big divot like right in front. And a lot of people just kind of take a step back, like, whoa, 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 whoa.
As
And-
this happens, if people are panicking, I want to also jump back and see if I can like start grabbing the gold or the steel, sorry, and just shoving them into the various pockets in my jacket.
So you're stealing it? Are you
Yes,
chucking?
I am.
Okay. Yeah. So
Okay.
obviously, this is a clusterfuck. So Rocio,
Yes.
what would you like to? The circus at this point is like crossing in the
We are
background.
the least chaotic thing.
They're crossing in the background, like
Surprisingly,
okay.
the least chaotic thing is the circus right now.
And Claren,
Um,
if you would like
yeah.
to get in on this, go for it.
as soon as like Rocio hears the explosion, Rocio's priority has always been making sure that the merchandise is safe. So Rocio's gonna sort of go immediately in front of everything, or at least to like move to get there, and just immediately take out her sword and sort of just like point it out. Also verifying that there's nobody who's injured, you know?
Sure. Go ahead and roll me a perception check to see if anyone is injured.
Because that's been great.
Getting injured.
Come on, don't let me down. Don't let me down. 4!
Right now, you're so focused on controlling the situation, you don't really see if anyone is injured or not.
Cool.
Cool. Me on the other
My
side.
rolls have not.
And Claren on the other side, since I also have a financial interest in, the merchandise not being stolen. I'm going to, motion discreetly for my armed guard to step forward, and start investigating anyone who is near to the merchandise to see if somebody's pickpocketing.
Yeah, sure. So, like, there's a lot going on right now. This is all happening at the same time, so we'll order it like this. Corvo is actively, like, reaching for this and trying to pickpocket it, right? Like, this is a freeze frame. You see Corvo doing this. Rocio's sword is drawn, standing in front, like, eyes locked on Corvo, right? Claren is behind the table. You were doing this in the open and you fired a gun. Like, what were you expecting? How are you gonna stealth out of this?
Panicking?
How are you gonna stealth out?
Screaming and
The rest of the people are terrified, but the motherfuckers that do business, you think that they're just gonna ignore that and run away?
Well, not the people who do business, but clearly there's going to be a rush of people, and in the chaos, just like a hand reaching out.
Amra is standing over the goods, watching this whole situation.
You lack discretion.
I love this idea that Corvo's like reaching back to get it, and so, like you're in full view of these two individuals, and they're watching you reach back
Steal
to grab
it.
this item.
Yeah,
Dusty,
clearly I'm just supporting myself on the
You're
box.
looking the wrong way.
Yeah.
What happened?
Yeah, you know,
Whoa.
hey.
Dusty is like beside Corvo, dagger out, not sure what Dusty's gonna do. Claren's armed guard is like about to just come down on you two, and this is the freeze frame. And at this moment, Amra like slams this warhammer down. Enough! What did I say about bidding starting? And looks at all of you.
I was trying to help.
This man pulled a dagger on me.
It's not my dagger, I found it.
That's convenient.
Some sort of explosion, and I came here to make sure everything was in order and, everybody was safe and taken care of. Oh, roll for that one. I
Yeah,
hope for
persuasion
that.
check for against everybody.
I am hyped for my first. What is with these dice?
Ooh, boy. Ooh, boy.
Yeah,
Oh,
so
boy.
with an 11, you're really not persuasive. Amrit's been around the block, and so is Rocio. Like, you're talking to literally the, like, store owners of Mercado Solador. You don't know that, but, like, they're the ones running the booth, and you're trying to convince them that you're trying to help when they have closed security. It's a really weird thing to try to, like, persuade them, right? And so Amrit kind of lowers his voice, and he says, "Are we going to figure this out civilly or not?" And looks at Corvo and looks at Dusty.
Dusty looks
And then
at
he puts his
Corvo,
dagger away.
then puts the dagger, just away casually.
Casually.
Okay, Corvo,
Casually.
you actively have an ingot in your hand that you were thieving.
Yeah, Corvo, the only one less casual here is you.
Honestly.
Just slowly set it back in the box, just like. Well, now nobody can steal it. so this is a good thing for everybody.
Can I demand a search? I don't.
Well
I
done.
give him a
Well
good
done.
I don't trust him.
Jesus Christ.
Can we get a
Honesty.
good TSA pat down
Amazing
going on here?
start. Amazing start to meeting these two people. Brilliant.
And
Claire,
it is
seriously,
at
you're
this
gonna stink
moment, as soon as the situation is under control, Master Faraday's voice rings over the crowd with another gunshot to announce, yeah, ladies, gentlemen, and all those in between, witness the mystical menagerie, and the fire starts shooting up. And the circus act
pick up
is
another bar?
about to begin, and that is where we are going to end our session for this evening.
Incredible.
Hey, let's go.
Incredible.
Hell of a start. Hell of a start.
Oh my goodness.
Oh my god.
Yes.
I'm so it's so incredible because y'all started all your role play and it was very intrigue and laws and all kind of very political and kind of ways, and y'all ended up being the most chaotic agents in the first
Very
meetup.
true.
And I created a Fushigi monk and I wasn't even there.
And you were the easy one.
I was the easy one.
Oh my god.
I was so sure Rigel would be walking through in the middle of all this going on, just the Bushigi on the ground, just
Popping it.
Dude,
I feel what the meme should be is that when anything serious is going on, Rigel's just Fushigiing in the background, just
Make this canon. Make it canon. Oh my gosh. Well, yes.
That's the proper way to be chaotic.
Is this where I could a war gong and just be attention, y'all need
Yeah.
to prep,
Ding.
get ready. This is
Oh.
how you get attention, man. Put the guns away.
Well, that was session 1 of the Hallowed Expanse. I hope everybody had fun. Thank you very much for playing. I'm sorry it was kind of jumpy aroundy, but you guys are all in the same spot now, so it's gonna be fantastic. I very much look forward to your circus performance, Rigel, at the start of next session. So hopefully you have some preparation time. Figuring out what you want to do. Yeah, so thank you very much for episode 1 of Hallowed Expanse. Hey, look at that. I also would like to do a special thank you to both Hells and, oh my goodness, Bear. Thank you very much, both for 20.
Yeah.
Yep, I had to remember the amounts. Bear for 20 and Hells for 20. That is insane. Hell said start your new campaign, new year, and first charity of the year off, right? Much love to all. Thank you very much to both of you for your
Thank
generosity for the
you.
Trevor Project. Very much appreciate it. The Hallowed Expanse is going to run weekly, Wednesdays, 6 p.m. Central Time, 7 p.m. Eastern Time. So next Wednesday is going to be episode 2, and we are kicking it off with a circus performance, and then some legal spiegelness, maybe? Some thievery, maybe? I don't know.
Oh
You will
boy.
just have to find out next week and see what these wonderful players do. Guys, shout yourselves out one last time really quick before we wrap up. Start with Demo.
Hey everybody, I have my own humble little channel where I stream games Tuesdays and Thursdays. Come hang out for some charity shenanigans.
X.
at King Clucky, I just play a lot of indie games and I stream at random times at random moments.
Saul.
Nice.
Hey y'all, please check out Turntables RPG on YouTube for our Monster of the Week Season 1, Season 2 while we are in development for Season 3. Wolf.
Boom.
Hi, I also stream. Feel free to check me out. I have fun with video games.
And Blanket, last but not least.
I'm a blanket burrito. Come by for Maple Story and Cats.
Woohoo!
Nice.
Maple Story Cats, love it. Thank you guys so much for your support today. Hopefully we will see you next Wednesday at 6 p.m. Central. Until then,
Yeah.
take care of yourselves, be kind, and have a wonderful rest of your week. Goodbye, everybody! See ya!
Bye.